It's 8:07 in the morning. You're standing outside your own front door. Not because you forgot something, because you just got a text from your neighbor. Your dog hasn't stopped since you left. And you're standing there, listening, trying to figure out if that's actually barking you can hear through the wall. You left 11 minutes ago. That's the moment a lot of apartment dog owners realize something is actually wrong. Not annoying, not, he just needs to adjust. Wrong. And here's what usually happens next. You go back inside. Your dog loses his mind with relief. You look around. Maybe a cushion is chewed. Maybe nothing is yet. You think he was just being dramatic. He'll figure it out. You leave again. 6 weeks later, noise complaint, shredded door frame. A dog who starts panting the moment you pick up your work bag. This video is about that dog. Your dog, maybe. Specifically, it's about the 5 real signs of separation, anxiety, and why most owners either miss them completely or mistake them for something else entirely. Because the most common thing people point to, the guilty look, the sad eyes, the head hanging when you get home and find the mess, that is not separation anxiety. That is your dog reading the tension in your body and bracing for what comes next. Confusing it for anxiety has been sending owners in the wrong direction for years. This is not about your dog being bad. This is not about your apartment being too small. This is not about you failing as an owner. This is about a dog whose nervous system is genuinely overwhelmed and a problem that, once you understand it, has a real path forward. One more thing before we get into the signs. There's something almost every apartment dog owner does right before they walk out the door, probably this morning, that research shows actually makes the anxiety worse. Not slightly worse. Measurably, demonstrably worse. We're going to get to it. But first, what's actually happening in your dog's brain when you close that door? When you leave, your dog's nervous system doesn't stay neutral. It activates. And unlike you, who knows you're going to work, knows you're coming home at 6, your dog has no frame for any of that. The door closes and the stress response kicks in with no off switch he can reach on his own. That's the engine behind every sign you're about to see. Let's start with the sign that happens before you even leave. Picture this. You wake up, make coffee, feed your dog. He's fine, normal, happy even. Then you walk to the closet and pull out your work bag. And something shifts. He was lying on the rug a second ago. Now he's sitting up, watching you. You put on your shoes. He gets up and moves to the corner near the front door. Not to greet you, just to be close to the exit. You pick up your keys. He starts panting. You haven't left yet. You haven't even said goodbye. But in your dog's mind, the sequence has already begun. This is called pre-departure anxiety. Sign 1. Your dog has learned precisely and in order the chain of actions that end with the door closing. The bag, the shoes, the keys. Every single one of those is now a trigger. By the time you actually leave, he's already been in a low-grade panic for 10 or 15 minutes. A bored dog doesn't care that you picked up your bag. He's not reading your routine. An anxious dog has memorized your departure ritual and starts suffering through it before it's even finished. Sign 2 is the one that tells you what he was trying to do while you were gone. A French bulldog in a 1-bedroom apartment. His owner leaves for a 2-hour grocery run. When she gets back, there are claw marks on the door, and the lower half of the door frame has been chewed through. She thinks he was angry. He wasn't angry. He was trying to get out, not revenge escape. In whatever way dogs think the logic was, I have to get through this door. I have to find her. This is exit point destruction. And here's how you read it. The damage is at the door frame, the baseboards right next to it, the windowsill that faces the street. Not the couch, not your shoes, not anything you own lying around. Boredom damage is random. Anxiety damage has a target, and the target is always the way out. So far, 2 signs, neither of them the guilty look. If any of that sounds familiar, stay with me, because the next 3 are the ones that get misread the most. And if this is already connecting, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel is built specifically for people raising dogs in apartments. Small spaces, real city schedules, no backyard. That's the only world we talk about here. Sign 3 is the one your neighbors know about before you do. Non-stop vocalization. Not barking at the mail carrier, not a few minutes of protest while he settles. Howling, barking, or crying that starts within minutes of you leaving and doesn't stop. Doesn't break, doesn't taper off. Boredom barking has an on and an off. It's reactive, aimed at something. A dog in separation distress isn't barking at anything. He's barking because the silence of an empty apartment is to him genuinely terrifying. If your neighbor's complaints are consistent starting shortly after you leave, and continuing that is the shape of anxiety, not boredom. Sign 4 is the one that sends apartment owners to Google at 11 at night, convinced they've broken their dog's house training. Your dog is fully trained, has been for months, never has accidents at home. Then your schedule changes, new job back to the office, and suddenly there are accidents. But only on the days you're gone a long time, only near the front door, only when he was alone. This is not a training regression. It is your dog's nervous system overwhelmed, losing the ability to maintain normal physical control. Punishing it doesn't help. It can't help because your dog is not making a choice. He is having a response. Sign 5 is the one the camera shows you. Panting when it's not hot. Pacing the same path back and forth for minutes at a time. Wet spots on the floor from drooling. Attempts to scratch through doors that leave marks, or in severe cases, broken nails and worn paw pads. These are not behavioral choices. These are physiological responses. This is what a body looks like when it has crossed what animal behaviorists call threshold, the point where the nervous system is so flooded with stress that rational behavior is no longer accessible. Below threshold, a dog can think. He can interact with a toy, eat a treat, make a choice. Above threshold, none of that is available to him. He is in a panic state. This is why the Kong you left out is untouched when you get home. Not because he wasn't hungry, but because he was too far gone to reach it. Here's the higher stakes version of this story. An owner notices the signs around month 4. Destruction near the door. Neighbor complaints. She assumes it's a phase. Tries a crate, the dog breaks a tooth on the door. Tries leaving the TV on. Tries new toys. Month 9, she surrenders him to a rescue. Not because she didn't love him, because she genuinely believed the dog was badly behaved and she was out of options. That dog had separation anxiety from probably the first week, and every response she tried was aimed at a behavior problem that wasn't there. The problem was a panic disorder. You cannot punish a panic disorder into remission. If you are renting an apartment, this is not just a dog welfare issue, it is a lease issue. It is a will I be allowed to keep my dog issue. The earlier you recognize what you're dealing with, the more options you have. Now, remember the thing I mentioned at the start, the thing almost every apartment dog owner does, right before they leave, that research shows makes the anxiety worse. It's the goodbye, the long one. You crouch down, you hold your dog's face. You say, "I'll miss you. Be good. I'll be back soon." You linger at the door. You think you're providing comfort. You're not. You're doing the opposite. Researchers track newly adopted dogs, and found that dogs whose owners engaged in emotional, drawn-out departures developed more separation-related behaviors than those whose owners left calmly and without ceremony. The findings were published in Applied Animal Behavior Science. What's actually happening is that you're spiking his stress right at the moment he needs to be coming down. And then the door closes. The fix is not cold, it's not cruel, it's quiet. You pick up your keys. You don't make a production of it. You walk out. When you come home, you come in calm. You let him settle. You greet him once he has. Both ends of the departure kept low-key. That single change costs nothing. Pair it with pre-departure cue disruption. Pick up your keys and sit back down. Put on your shoes and watch TV for 10 minutes. Break the chain of signals your dog has memorized so that shoes no longer automatically means abandoned. Do that for a week, and the panting when you pick up the bag starts to ease. Then add a short absence ladder. Leave for 90 seconds, come back calm. Leave for 3 minutes. Build over 2 to 3 weeks. You can do every single one of these from your hallway. No yard, no trainer, no equipment. And if you're doing all of this and the signs are still severe, talk to your vet. There are FDA-approved options specifically for canine separation anxiety. Medication plus desensitization is the combination that moves the needle in serious cases. No car needed to make a phone call. So, 5 signs. Separation anxiety is a panic disorder, not stubbornness, not a training failure, not your apartment being too small. The moment you treat it like disobedience, you make it worse, every time. If your dog shows 2 or 3 of these signs, you don't need a formal diagnosis to start helping him. Get a camera. Start a short absence ladder this week. Change the goodbye. Those 3 things cost almost nothing, and they tell you a lot. Your dog is not destroying your apartment because he's bad. He's doing it because you left, and in his world, that is the scariest thing that happens. He doesn't know you're coming back. He never knows you're coming back. Every single time, he's just waiting to find out. That's not a behavior problem. That's a dog who loves you more than he knows how to handle. What does your dog do the moment you pick up your keys? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. Apartment dogs. Real city schedules. No backyards. No excuses. See you in the next one.